much in the morning matters.
Is your weather geeky this morning?
Make AMHQ your morning show. America's morning headquarters. Weekday mornings starting live at 7 Eastern on the Weather Channel.
Every Sunday, a new tale of weather legend. American Supernatural. Sunday nights at 10 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 82 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, thunderstorms early, low 77. Chance of rain, 60%. Wednesday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon, high 87. Chance of rain, 80%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Ensure Active Clear protein drink.
Clear, huh? My nutritional standards are high.
I'm not juice or fancy water. I've got 8 grams of protein.
Twist my lid. That's 3 times more than me.
17 vitamins and minerals.
And 0 fat.
You bring a lot to the party.
Yay!
New Ensure Active Clear Protein. 8 grams protein, 0 fat, 17 vitamins and minerals. And delicious blueberry pomegranate and mixed fruit. Take life in.
Watching one of the biggest financial services companies in the country at work.
Hey, thanks for coming over.
How did it come to be?
Yours?
Not anymore. It's a very short story. Come on in.
By meeting you more than halfway. It's how Edward Jones makes sense of investing.
Let's hide in the attic.
No, in the basement. Why can't we just get in the running car?
Are you crazy? Let's hide behind the chainsaws.
Smart. Yeah, okay.
If you're in a horror movie, you make poor decisions. That's what you do.
Mom and Dad told us they had just made their funeral and burial pre-arrangements. We thought they already had taken care of that. When we learned it was through Beth Israel and Eternal Light, we knew everything would be handled in the most caring and professional way. We realized it would be one of the most difficult days of our lives. It inspired my husband and me to make our own pre-arrangements so the burden wouldn't fall on our children when that day comes. It's not an easy thing to think about, but I'm so glad we did.
If you want to get even closer to the NFL, you need NFL Network on Xfinity from Comcast. You'll get 24/7 news and analysis in all 16 regular season Thursday night football games. NFL Network is your all-access pass to all the excitement of the NFL all year long. Get NFL Network and over 80 additional channels when you upgrade to Digital Preferred TV for a great low price. Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Call 1-800-XFINITY today.
All items are shipped to you for just $2 flat. NoMoreRack.com. Everything you love for less.
The wildest weather ever caught on camera.
Oh my God!
Tonight, tomorrow night, every weeknight, wild weather at 8. Coming up next.
It's just about 53 minutes after the hour. It's time for the Tropical Update. Brian Norcross here in the lab at the Weather Channel. When we were here a half hour ago, we were talking about Hurricane Gonzalo and the strengthening that was indicated on the satellite, and the hurricane hunters were out there just investigating. Well, I want to show you a report that they sent in showing you this potential significant intensification. They measured a pressure of 959 millibars, so that's a significant drop from the report report as of 5 o'clock, and the maximum wind at flight level, now this is not down at the ocean, this is up at 10,000 feet, was 144 miles per hour. Again, significantly stronger winds. Now, I hasten to add here that we don't normally show these kind of raw numbers coming out of the hurricane hunters because the National Hurricane Center in Miami is going to look at them, evaluate them, determine that they're indeed accurate. There may even be numbers that are more extreme than this coming in because the hurricane hunters are out there and they're going to fly around some more and take some more readings before the 11 o'clock advisory. But all indications are this is a strengthening hurricane and it's out over the ocean, so there's a long time to go here before it might affect any land. And I have one more thought on that in a second when you see the satellite picture. But here are the numbers as of the 5 o'clock advisory. 115 on the wind, 970 on the pressure. Remember, that measurement was 959, so dramatically less, and northwest at 13. Now, take a look at this satellite image here, and you can see over the last few pictures, see how it's getting much more circular and the eye is popping out. Also notice that it's quite small. Look at it, it's not much bigger. The core there is not much bigger than the island of Puerto Rico. And what we say about these small hurricanes is easy come, easy go. In other words, they have the mechanism to intensify quickly, but they also have the ability to weaken quickly because just a little bit of dry air that gets in or a little bit of unfavorable winds, it upsets the top more easily. There's less mass that's spinning out there in the Atlantic. So this doesn't mean, even if this gets elevated to even a Category 3 or high Category 3 or Category 4, that it's going to be that. Although the National Hurricane Center, for its whole life, National Hurricane Center was anticipating intensification, significant intensification. Look at this, forecasting 140-mile-an-hour hurricane by Thursday morning, but that may be happening sooner. But my main point was the indications are, as it moves in the direction here somewhere of Bermuda, that it will weaken because the overall atmospheric conditions are not as favorable up in here. And if it stays a small system, or a relatively small system, as we expect, then the weakening can happen pretty quickly. But still, everybody in Bermuda needs to be ready for the possibility of a significant hurricane, bearing in mind that if it were to go fairly far away, since it's so small, it wouldn't have a significant effect on the island. So we're just going to have to keep a close eye on this for Bermuda, and then it moves north. And our friends in Atlantic Canada out there in Newfoundland are going to have to watch for the remnants up that way. All right, big dip in the jet stream out here, obvious on the water vapor. There's Gonzalo there, and there is the jet stream. Now, on the model, here's what the model says is going to happen. Gonzalo is going to move to the northwest and then move off to the northeast in the direction of Bermuda as this jet stream dip comes along here. But the big question is, as that dip in the jet stream gets close to Gonzalo, how much influence does it have on the wind blowing over top of the storm? We think it will have some, and that's responsible for at least some of the weakening that's forecast. If it has quite a bit, it'll weaken a lot faster. If it stays away over here and it just steers it, then that will happen more slowly. And that's why how strong Gonzalo will be when it's in the vicinity of Bermuda is still very much an open question. Elsewhere in the tropics, tropical system out here, this Invest, is forecast to move north and not be an issue. This one will kind of hang around Central America. We'll watch that for next week in the extreme southern Gulf of Mexico, but not expected to be a threat. And now on to Ana. Ana is here in the Pacific, Central Pacific, a 65-mile-an-hour tropical storm now. And looking at it on the satellite, it looks very well developed. The atmospheric conditions are favorable for intensification, and it has plenty of warm water here in front of it in the 80s, unlike Isel earlier in the year that was in the 70s. So the Central Pacific Hurricane Center is thinking it will indeed intensify and then move in the vicinity of the Hawaiian Islands. Again, a fairly small system, so if it's down here, very minimal effect. It would really have to come up right toward Hilo to have a really significant effect on the populated islands. And but still, look at this. They're forecasting a hurricane moving through the Hawaiian Islands. Very, very, very unusual. All right, that's it for now from the Weather Channel. Of course, we'll monitor it and keep you up to date, so stay tuned.
Wednesday, thunderstorms develop. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Got one more thing to tell you about. It's more about watching this line of thunderstorms pushing eastward here across Florida, also across South Carolina here, where Charleston, thunderstorms are not severe, but they're definitely on the strong side. They're about to push through the area right now. We're talking about gusty winds coming through as well, easily 40, maybe close to 50 miles per hour. Can't rule out even stronger winds than that as well. Also, plenty of lightning coming down through this evening as well. Heavy rain. Now, the secondary line, once this comes through, things quiet down. Atlanta's quiet now. Greenville, we're kind of going through this, but the northern stretch of this pushing through North Carolina is giving you some heavy rain and some flood concerns. Henderson County under a flash flood warning, meaning flooding is ongoing in this area, and we still have the risk of seeing more thunderstorms or damaging winds, some hail as we head throughout the evening. It's going to push on through Raleigh as we head to the overnight hours, and then tomorrow we're going to bring in a big chunk of the mid-Atlantic to see strong and severe thunderstorms.
You're watching Wild Weather at 8.
A once-in-a-lifetime trip almost ends in disaster. Sudden megastorms with torrential rains and violent winds crush everything in their paths.
Like a giant had come through and stomped on the houses.
A tornado mushrooms to record-breaking size.
You have to take shelter now.
Devastating dust storms.
We should just end it and get out of here.
Fantastic phenomena and unimaginable destruction. It's all next on Weather Caught on Camera.
Oh my gosh, the people have kind of panicked.
A quest to ride a wave like no other brings surfers to Alaska. But this adventure trip is even more dangerous than anyone imagined.
It was the craziest thing I've ever done by far.
Big wave surfers like Garrett McNamara and Kali'i Mamala ride multi-story high towers of water. And incredibly, they actually feel comfortable there.
I love the feeling of just being in the ocean, being off the planet on Earth, you know, you're just out there, you feel like you're on a whole other world.
Garrett's family moved to Hawaii when he was 11, and soon after, he began his love affair with surfing.
You fall in the water, it's nice and soft and cool and perfect temperature and sunny. And
they travel the globe in search of big swells. South Africa, Tahiti, Brazil, and then one day, a new and unexpected destination makes the list. Alaska.
It's really funny what friends can talk you into doing, and I got a call from my friend Ryan Casey. He starts to tell me this idea of riding these waves produced by glaciers calving.
Calving is when a mass of ice breaks away from a glacier. Garrett and Kali'i screen a video from their friend of calving on Alaska's Copper River. What they see is both extraordinary and irresistible.
What's that behind the waves? Like, it's that ice, and he's like, that's a glacier. Then this wave reminded me of Haleiwa right here. Big 15-foot wave, brown chocolate water, just going from 15 feet to 2 feet. And I was like, oh my goodness, how do we get to do this? Let's go. Next week, I want to go.
I was instantly captivated and wanted to go see if it was surfable. This was a whole different type of wave. It's actually a tidal wave. It's a water displacement wave.
Garrett, Kali'i, a safety crew, and a camera crew travel to Alaska. They soon realize the challenges here are daunting, and that being in 33-degree water is just one of many.
When we got in the water, we all of a sudden were this cold water. debris everywhere. There's rocks, there's ice, there's sticks. If anything goes into the intake, your jet ski stops. So if your ski stops, you're going to end up right into standstill water under this 300-foot tall mountain of ice that can come off anytime and squash you.
They need to use a jet ski to get in position for the waves because the river moves too quickly to use hand paddling. It's day one surfing, and all their fears are confirmed when Garrett's first wave is almost his last.
As I let go of the rope, I start turning, I'm looking up, and all I can see is this looming 300-foot tall chunk of ice, and it's kind of shooting outwards. Can't paddle out of there, and all I was thinking is if the next one had calved around top of me, and it was really horrifying, to say the least. And I got on the ski and I said, I'm over this. I want to go home. It's not worth it.
Garrett's close call has him wanting to call it quits. He calls home.
I'm done. I don't want to go near it anymore. That night was tough, and I didn't really want to go back in. And Kaylee was like, don't worry, we'll be all right. So I told myself that I would go back, but the second I felt that I was going to possibly die, I would pull the plug.
Garrett stays.
I'm fine.
And they spend the week working out the logistics of catching waves. By day 8, they're more comfortable with the looming ice towers above them. They know that when they hear the ice moving, it's their cue.
All of a sudden, we heard it start cracking and falling.
Over walkie-talkies, they hear from their team on the riverbank.
They start radioing us. They're like, get out of there. And like, look like we're done because this thing's falling and it's about to crush on us. We're about maybe 100 or 80 yards away from the glacier. And I'm on the rope, Garrett's on the ski, and I'm like,